Right, let's go. Okay. Let's. Onegaishimasu. Okie. Just going to start a little bit of warming up. I'm just going to start with the feet. So just stretching up, coming up, and then just pulling it down. Coming up onto the toes, stretching up, coming down. And just do it in your own pace. Yeah. Right up into the heels. Pressing down and back up. And feel the whole body's going to go. Vroom, vroom. So even though you're just mobilizing the ankle, you feel that the whole body's involved in the movement. Stretching up. And then down. Okay, when you do it now, what I want you to do is come up and fully kind of tense the whole legs, especially the butt, the abs. Just kind of tense everything. Tense it, and really press up through the ground, off the ground. And what you can do is just relax it, let it go. And you do the same, just stretch up, tense everything. You can even tense the hands, the neck, everything. Tense, fully. And then let it go. And then just one more. Go up, fully tense, especially the butt. Right, like this. The legs straight, abs, everything. And then let it go. Just there. Okay, as you go to the knees, so just bending back a little bit forwards, to the back, forwards, into the back. Just hold it a little bit again, just to the back. Don't tense anything here. Just let it settle in, stretch all the way through the back of the knee. And come forwards a little bit again. Just sit into it. And very gentle circles, not too big. So using the knee like a hinge. Very gentle circles, not too big. Just go one way, go the other. That's good. And just put all your weight into one side. Just mobilize the whole joint now. So the ankle, the knee, and now the hip. So really feel that the whole joint starts to kind of wind and unwind. Go both ways. And try and feel all the joint really supple, or as supple as possible. Both ways. You just raise off the ground, just rotating the ankle. One way, the other. Just keep changing it. And then do the same thing. You're going to straighten the leg out fully press through the heel, straighten the knee. And then you do the same with the ankle, just rotating the joint. But keep the leg straight. And just rotating the ankle. Again, one way and then the other. Okay, and then just all you're going to do is point the toe. That, point the toe. That, point the toe. Hold it, and then press through the heel. Press the heel, and then point the toe. Just cycle between the two. Pressing the heel, pointing the toe. Pressing the heel, pointing the toe. Press the heel, and the toe. Good. And then just working the side, just going to bring the leg out. And then keep the leg as straight as possible in this one. Just out. You're going to do like full range of motion and then just hold it slightly. Just at the top, hold it, bring it back. 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 And then what you do is pulse it. So you're going to bring it out, full range of motion, and then just pulse it like a millimeter. Pop, 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 pop. About 30, 40 pulses. Really feel the supporting leg working. Keep the leg full extended. Pulse it, pulse it, pulse it. Yeah. And let it go. Okay, just shake the joint out a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing. You're just going to swing it to the back now. So go a little bit to the front, but this is more about the back. So raise it up to the back, and then again, hold it maximum range, and then let it go. Bring it back, hold it, fully tense, let it go. Hold it, let it go. One more, hold it, let it go, and then again, just pulse it. Get to the full range, and then just pulse it to the back a little bit. Keep the leg fully straight. Pulse, 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 pulse. So full extension, millimeter of movement. And then just let it go. Shake the whole joint out. Okay, just going to use the chair for the other side. Okay, so just going to do the same thing. Start by mobilizing the joint. Both ways. Make the knee work, make the ankle work. Just feel the whole thing really supple, elastic. And again, just foot off the ground, just rolling it. Rolling the ankle. Good. Straighten the leg out. And just, again, just rotate through the ankle, keeping the leg full extension. One way, then the other. And then the same thing, just point the toe, full extension, point the heel, full extension. Toe, heel. Toe, heel. Toe, heel. And then just coming out to the side. And hold it a little bit, like 1, 2 seconds. 1, 2, let it go. Out, 1, 2, let it go. 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 And then again, just pulse it, get to the top, just pulse the joint, 30, 40 pulses. Boom, boom, boom. Feel that it's supporting leg really working. In this case, hold up the chair for me is working too. Yeah, let it go. Shake it out a little bit. And then we go to the back. So just swing it through. Just the first few, just swing it quite light and then get to full range. Tense, hold it, let it go. Tense, hold it, let it go. Tense, hold it, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And then again, just pulse it. Get to full range. Pulse, 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 pulse. And it's not the pulse that matters, it's the intention to pulse. It's like what I need to do to make that pulse. That's what's kind of switching the system on. Yeah. Okay, good. Just shake both legs out. We just go to the hips. So just let the feet settle down. Really mobilizing the hips. So you want to feel like you've got a strong base, but you also want to feel it supple as well. You never really want to lose that suppleness. When you've got injuries like me at the moment with the knee, it's a real pain in the ass. But as long as you can stay supple, use the structure in a supporting way, you can tend to work it. Mobilizing the hips there. And just nice and loose. Start to bring the arms into it. Just twisting. And this is really like a hip mobility exercise as well. So get the sense that the hips are doing something like this way. And what I want to really feel is that each hip's independent, so it's working independently, but it's working collectively with the other hip as well. So it works both ways. So that's it, good. Go ahead, I'm just going to watch a few. That's it. Good. There we go. Got it. Nice. Oh, good. Okay, just with the elbows out, I'm just going to go 1, 2, and then 3. Just hold it. Coming back. 1, 2, 3. Really feeling the body spiral down. So not so much about the elbow as much as it is to do with like creating a spiral through the structure. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. You do the same thing now, just with the hands open, extending through the arms. So you go 1, 2, 3. Maximum extension. Hold it 3 seconds and then go 1, 2, 3. 3 second hold and then go to the side. 1, 2, 3. And out. 1, 2, 3. One more time, each side. There. 2, 3. Good. Just working the arms. Roll them. Try and feel the whole body starts to be involved. So it's not just about the shoulder. And over. 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 And then going back. Over. Over. If you can get the biceps to kind of just brush the ears. So it's really like full range of motion if you can. If the shoulder allows it. Opening it out. And again, try and feel the whole body's involved in it. Okay, just working specifically the chest. So you're just going to do like this. So settle the hips down, settle the stomach down, and just allow this part of the body to move. And this is a minimal movement. So if I'm making the movement like this is kind of too much. So fix the body a little bit down, and it's really just that. The best position to do this is in bed. So when you're lying down, the body's totally relaxed. And if you can just mobilize that part of the chest. Yeah, so it's quite small movement. Okay. Sorry. That's it. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah, good. That's it. Yeah, good, good, good. If you can imagine like a ball bearing or a big marble in the center of the chest, imagine I want to send the marble that way. So it's like a kind of go. I want it to kind of think against the body. Bong, bong, bong. And do the same thing now. You're going to go forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. Like really pressing the chest out and really curling it under. Open. There. Again, almost all the mobility is coming from the chest. There. There. Obviously, the whole body's going to move with it, but the mobility is not coming from the body. It's really just the chest. Push it out, curl it back. Push it out, curl it back. And then we just go to the head, just stretch it up. Right up, right up, right up. And then down, chin to chest. One more time, stretching right up. And all the way down, chin to the chest. And then just come to the side, ear to shoulder. Just let the weight of the head fall. We're not really pushing it, just let the weight go. One, other side. One, other side. Good. And then very, very, very gentle weight. What I want you to do is just go take it to the front corner. So the hands just kind of placed on dead weight, as if the elbow is very heavy. Just the front corner. Feel a kind of lengthened extension through the neck. And release it nice and slow. Go through the side. Just the front corner. And then the last one for the neck, you're just going to push the hands forward onto the forehead. Push back and push with the head forward. Really feel the neck muscles activate. That. Push, 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 push. If you push hard enough, you'll also feel the lower back kind of switch on. There. Then the lower back's really buttressing the whole body. The spine comes online. Go. And just let it go. Okay. We'll just do a few breathing stretches just to finish up. Just going to stretch up. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Extend also through the back of the knees a little bit. And then what you can do is bend. Go through the knees. Lengthen through the body. Breathing out. Come all the way down. Take your time. And then coming up. And then just repeat the cycle. Get to the center. stretching out, breathing in. Reach up, keep the length, bend in the knees, breathing out. All the way down. Up, breathing in, body in, and then just let it all go. Fully in, fully out. And then in the next 4, just start to be a bit more dynamic with it. So you can go a little bit faster, but it's about the quality of the moves, a little bit smoother. This. So it's much more supple. And coming out much more supple. A little bit more dynamic. Just let the breath start to lead the movement. And the last one, real slow, slowly up, breathing in, full. And then really slow down. Let the breath just exit the body. So it's not being forced out, it's just coming out of the body. Slow. Easy breath out. And at the bottom, just let it go fully. Let the breath go totally. And then come back up. Take a nice deep breath in. And then just a few regular breaths, just normal breaths. Okay, and then just finishing with here. Let the body shake. You want to feel a really elongated, lengthened body, but also heavy, relaxed. Boom. Just try and feel the weight of the body entering the ground. And just the last one, just working with a spinal wave, the whole spine, in, out, in, out. Just feel the whole structure pass a wave through it and then let it out. It's always about the relationship with the ground. Pass it from the feet into the hips and then, in this case, out through the hands and the top of the head. Just let it go. It's really like a wave through the body. And then what I want to do is just start to include the hands a little bit and start to take the movement in different directions. So you can keep it as a kind of basic movement here. You can just start to feel that you can include the hands in it. Just play a little bit now with including the arms. And the key thing here is that I'm trying to work the core of the body to the periphery. So I'm not trying to move the hands independently. I'm really trying to move the hands so that they follow the center. There. And once you've got that connection, just play with it. And it doesn't need to be big with the hands. It's actually better if it's quite subtle. And I'm working with like millimeter connection. Good. But obviously it's the morning, so we want to kind of move a little bit. So as soon as you feel you've got it or you're in the region, just start to make it a bit more flexible and a bit bigger. And start to really bring the whole body into it. And if you feel like it, start to move the feet and start to take it around the room and just feel the space you're in. Feel the space and fill the space. So you're going to start to really move around the space, however small it is, however low the ceiling is, fill the whole space entirely. And just kind of clock everything. Go now from the body, connected, and this is now about the body in relationship to a space and in relationship to the ground. That's it. So I'm just trying to pass a connected body through the space. Just give it a try. That's it. And you can make it as complex or as simple as you like. You can do it slow, you can do it fast. Also feel that you can also break the vertical as well. So you can also bring the legs into it much more if you feel like it. Start to go into like squatting positions. Just make it as challenging as you want. And it's just in the end about connection and mobility. Oh, nice. Good, good, good. Great. There we go. That's it. And just start to bring it down, start to bring the feet back down. I'm just going to work in a hammy now. So you're going to work in the feet in a hammy position. And I just want you to again, just explore hand-hip connection. So the hands and the hips. And there's nothing mysterious about it. There's nothing really esoteric about it. I just want them to talk to each other. So I just want the hips to communicate with the hands. So the key rule for me is that I do this to myself. I can't move the hands independently. It's just a rule I've got. And you can't move the hands independently anyway. So you're just aligning to a kind of natural principle. So really feel that you can only really move the hands if the hips go. So the hand is not moving on its own like this. It's really moving in communication with the hip and the rest of the body. But just for now, just focus on something between the hips and the hands. And it can be super subtle, or it can be nice and big, really unsubtle. But just get them talking to each other. This is one of the key things for us in Aikido. That's it. Yeah, interesting. Okay. So one of the key things I need to get out of in terms of Aikido is pushing and pulling. So if I'm working in pushing and pulling, my Aikido won't really go anywhere. Or it will go in one area, which is strength-based training. And it's just not interesting. Strength-based training is great, feels great, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And it actually goes here in the end, because you will lose your strength, you will find someone stronger than you, and the technique won't work. And it's just in the end of the day, not a good strategy. So get out, just to see if you can make a distinction between pushing with the body, something like this, and really something else, which is about extension, opening, compression. And I'm really exploring again, it's just about my relationship with the ground, how I'm passing a movement from the ground through the hip and out through the hand. So it's really, at the end of the day, nothing to do with pushing. It works in a totally different domain than push and pull. Aikido just really fundamentally doesn't really work here. So just see if you can get something where you're going to do something else. There we go. That's it. That's it. Okay. We just do a little thing that you can do. This makes it really clear. So Lewis told me all the time that Saito Sensei would just do this in the dojo. People were training. He would stand up against a wall and he would just roll through the wall. So he would use the hip and the hand and he would just roll. And this is basically a great teaching, because if you use a wall, I can't push the wall away. So I can't force the wall to move unless it's unstable. So the wall's not going anywhere. So I need to change my relationship to the wall. So what I want you to do to kind of imitate this, just grab your own wrist like this. And basically I can work in push and pull. So if I stabilize the grip, this is quite strange because I've got to split my mind. I've got to hold myself down and then I've got to free myself with this hand. But just watch, if I'm in push and pull, I actually can't move the hand because I'm in resistance to myself, to the structure itself. So what I want to feel is this is strong, and then feel that what I can actually change is my relationship to the point. So it's not about moving it or pulling it or escaping from it. It actually works. Aikido, this is where Aikido really works. It works by I just change my relationship to that point, and then I can take it somewhere else. So just play with this. You give yourself a little bit of resistance, and it's like this, 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 and it's quite subtle. But just see if you can get a feeling like pushing won't work, pulling away from it won't really work. Change my relationship. That works. So it's just about this at the end of it. And this is where we work with an uke. But you can actually practice this yourself, and you can practice it with a wall, you can practice it with an arm, and then later we practice it with a partner. But to get this is like really, really kind of fundamental stuff. Yeah, that's the. So there's lots of ways I can be in relationship to things. One of them that we do quite a lot is leaning into things. So if I go like with a chair, I can put my I can be in communication with the structure by leaning on it like this. So this is a great way of using my structure, very efficient. The problem with it is I've sacrificed all my structure to the chair. So as soon as the chair disappears, the body will go with it. So we want to work in a way where my structure is independent and I'm in relationship to the thing. So just see, you can use a chair, you can use a door, you can use something. Just get something in your space. You can just use the air itself, but get the feeling that I'm actually in relationship to the thing independently. So we're connected, but we're independent. It's the same on Zoom. My connection is not your connection. My camera is not your camera, but we're connected through a system. This is the same kind of thing. It's the way most things work, but just get the sense that, So it's about changing my relationship to the thing. It's not about changing the thing. I can change the thing. I can lean my structure into it. I can push against it. I can pull it, or I can just see it as it is and move around it. Just that, and I move around it. And this is mostly where Aikido works. Just see if you can find it. Walls are good because they just won't go anywhere. Chairs are good because they start to move if you push them. So they'll give you feedback. People are best because they give you total feedback. This is where partners are really helpful. But walls are great too. Walls give you total feedback. People give you like interpreted feedback. Yeah, good. That's it. That's it. Okay. And you're all quite static because I think I'm quite static. I'm a bit immobile because of my knee, but just get the feeling that you can also really move around. So also really test the connection. I can do this like simply, and it's best done simply. This change in my relationship is always going to be done in a simple thing, but just get the feeling that you can also really mobilize around it. And if you've got a wall, really work with connection work and just work with this. So this is where the training is, where I'm not working. I get out of working in resistance to objects or just leaning my structure into them. And I get into actually being independent, connected, moving independently, but always in relationship to things. There we go. And just mobilize everything. Use the whole body. Make it as complex as you like again. There we go. Yeah. And you probably, if you've got Taina Henko forms drilled into you, you will just find them. They'll just start to come out. Kokyu nages, ikkyos, all this kind of stuff. Just let those forms come out. Play with mostly what you know, and then you might find out something you don't know. Something might just come up. Yeah. Oh, this is great. What Adrian's got is really great. Let's see. I'm going to spotlight Adrian. Do that. Yeah, so an object like this is great. This is perfect. It's almost a perfect uke because you need to move around it. It won't move. This is like, for us, this is like static training. So like kihon maza, you need to move. The object won't move. So yeah, really great. Huh? Yeah, good. Great. There we go. Okie dokie. Okay, take a Joe. Oh no, wait, take a bokken. Take a bokken. Sorry, take a bokken. Let me do something else. Okay, good. So there's basically two ways of seeing an object. I see it as a tool, or I see it as an object. Or there's two ways to see a thing. It's a tool, or it's an object, or it just doesn't exist for me. It's somewhere else. So in our case, what I want to use the thing for, in this case of the bokken, is as a tool. So I want to really find the usefulness of it. Now for us, it's for training connection, fundamentally. Training movement, training cuts with a sword, all this kind of stuff. Fundamentally, it's about connection work. So we're just going to play, I just want you to play with the sword and forget that it's a sword. Just see it as a piece of wood, which is what it is, and just play with it a little bit. So just move around the space. Just play with it. You don't need to do anything special. It's better if you don't. Just play with it. You can see it as a sword, or you can just see it as a piece of wood, shaped in a bit of a strange way. So, and just notice things about it. And notice how I relate to it. And most of us have got like a long relationship with the sword. Most of us have done Aikido for a long, long time. So we've got a kind of pretty good relationship with the sword. So that will just start to come out. So how I treat the object in terms of its use will really start to come through. Just play with it. Just move it through the hands, move through the space. Just see it for what it is at the moment. Just a piece of wood. There we go. Yeah, really play with it as well. Yeah. Good. You're all using it like a gel. Interesting. Interesting. Good. Yeah, for me, it's like there's 2 points. The sword is a bit restricted and the gel feels totally free for me. So I love the gel because it feels totally free. The sword's something else. It gives it much more restriction because I've got a restricted grip and I've got pretty restricted movements. I cut like this, I cut like this, and I cut like this. I thrust like this. So it's quite a restrictive weapon. So just play a little bit now where you're going to come into the grip. So I just want you to play with the grip. Just come into the left hand, right hand on top. And again, just play with connection. So just moving the body around. Nothing special at all. You don't even have to use hand. Just move around the space and just feel that you're connecting into that. Just into the sword. So now really using the grip. Just as it is. And just feel again, I'm just only focusing on connection work. Again, use the whole space, fill the space with movement. Make it as complex as you like. Just moving in connection with the thing. There we go. You have to remember like the first time you ever picked up a sword. And I got a very clear memory of the first time I picked up a sword as a child, like boom. That kind of that memory as a child, when you first pick it up and you go, whoa, what is this? It's a sword. There's always that excitement you get. You want that. That's what you want. You want to like hijack that feeling. That. Oh, I remember that pretty well. So it's sometimes I feel my whole life is chasing that kind of feeling. I'm just chasing that feeling from being a kid with a sword.
More recent for you, Michael.
Yeah, it's more recent. Yeah. Try and see if you can find it. Boom. It also helps that I've got a photograph of it, so maybe it's not my memory, but it's just a photograph, but who knows? Good. Good. Okay, now I just want you to play a little bit, feel that the sword's a bit independent. So as well as me being independent, the sword's also independent. It will do its own thing. So if I disappear, the sword will drop. So it has its own thing. It has its own thinginess. It will do its own thing regardless of me. So if I disappear, boom, it will go. Now what it's going to do is drop to the ground. So it's going to drop to the ground. It's just going to be pulled down. This seems just totally obvious, totally like something a 5-year-old would say. The sword will drop down. So the sword's in relationship to the ground too, as well as me. So I just want you to feel that. And feel a little bit like I'm not really there. The sword's just going to go. And it will just go. I don't need to do a thing. The sword will drop. So it doesn't require me at all, the sword. Just going to drop it to the ground. Just feel that. It's just going to go. Just going to go. Just going to go. You can also throw it up a little bit. Give it some movement. Give it a bit of life. You can twist it a little bit. Just see what happens. But notice one thing. If you disappear, it will drop down. It will just go down, whatever you do. Whatever I do, it will go back. Dum, dum. It's always working in relationship to the ground. Now, either I'm holding it up in resistance to that, or it's gone. So either I'm working against that principle or I'm working with it. So that's pretty much what we do with the sword work. Interesting. Good. There we go. And just play with it. There we go. Okay, so in terms of what we do and how we align to that function, we work with it with a cut. So what I want you to feel is just the left hand on the sword. It's just here, and then just feel that it drops. Now, again, just notice notice the position you need to get to align fully to that movement. So just watch this. I can work in resist. I can allow the movement to happen and work in resistance to it, like this. Clink. So I break my own structure to align to it. Now, I'm not interested in breaking my own structure. So when you do this, really feel, what do I need to do to make that align to my own structure? So this is about connecting and now extending your feeling into it and actually extending your structure into the sword. So really feel now that the way I grip is essential to connection work. And in this case, going into extension. I need to extend my structure through and into the sword to allow that to happen. And just notice it. Just feel what happens. Dunk, dunk. It's just going to drop each time. Dunk. Just going to go. Just see if you can get it. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, so notice how much effort now it takes to raise the sword up. So the drop-in is easy. The drop-in is not the problem. Most of us have a problem with the cut, and that's actually the easy part because it's just going to drop down. I just need to align to it. Lifting the sword up is difficult. So just notice now how difficult it is to actually raise the sword. To do it with zero effort takes a lot of effort to get there. So have the sense that I can either lift the sword up like this, or I can somehow get my feeling underneath it and there. So there's some way I can raise the sword without lifting and weightlifting. There's a way I can use the body to get underneath it. There we go. The first step is actually realizing how difficult the thing we do is. And then I can work from that space. And working from a space where I don't know how to do it is where you make changes. So it's about, again, changing my relationship to the thing I'm doing. I can be lifting the sword or I can be, in a way, raising it. I want to be much more functional, so feeling of raising it from underneath. That's it, Keith. Yeah, play on that. Yeah, exactly. What do I need to do to raise it? Something needs to happen. Yeah. Ah, good. Okay, lots of you are you're playing with it. Good. Ah, good. There we go. Got it. What do you notice? I'm going to ask you. What do you notice? What do you need to do to raise the sword? Ah, Bernie, yeah, exactly.
Drop your center. You can drop down.
Yeah. The center needs to drop into the ground, basically. So the center, it's about your relationship to the ground again. So obviously you can do this with weightlifting. I can just lift the sword up. It's just not interesting. So I can do that all day. I will just build bicep muscle. Not interested. So get a feeling that you can really, something happens. Done. And we do this all the time when we do partner work. When we do kokyunages, we do the same thing. So this is where the teaching of the sword is actually something else. It's not about cutting. It's about, again, changing relationships to things. So it's not about the suburi. The suburi are interesting, really great logic to the system, but essentially something else. You're training something else. There we go, good. Just try now with both hands. So just try like a really soft kind of cutting motion. And you're just basically now trying to find an arc. So you just raise it up. And you don't need to raise it up fully. Just feel that you just here's enough. Then down. Just here, down. And again, try and feel that what you're doing is something really, really complex. The body needs to do quite a complex thing to raise it. So especially the raise, and now especially feel that the cut or the drop of the sword, just let it drop. Really feel I need to align the body again to the ground through the center, to the extremity, which is now the hand. Boom. And just play with it. Play with two hands, play with one hand. Also play with the positioning of the hands. You can bring them close together, far apart. How does that change it? How does that change my relationship to the thing? There we go. Just play with raising, lifting. There we go. That's it. Also feel free, move your feet. You can move around the space. You don't have to be totally static. There we go. If you feel really the urge to cut. I would totally do the same.
And the urge to dig a hole.
Digging a hole, yeah, digging a hole. That is exactly it. You're digging a hole. Yeah. Good. Okay, so we're going to Hami and we're going to the first suburi, but just keep this idea of dropping the sword. So don't finish the cut. Just find the back now and then just drop it into the ground. And again, really explore your relationship. What I want you to do is an extra movement in this. So every time, I want you to just come back to the Hami. So I want you to feel like the Hami is here, the Kamai is here. So you're in Ken Kamai and then just drop to the back. 1, drop it down to the ground. 2, and then return to the Kamai. 3. And again, just explore now. The problem is I go active. I go into dynamic doing something rather than let it happen. So just see if you can keep all the training we've just done. Try and find all those feelings now in this movement. So it's a specific movement, but it's designed around the same principles. How to raise the sword, how to let it drop, and then in this case, how to hang the sword in the posture. So really, really simple, but actually super complex. Imagine the first time when you came to the Aikido class and someone taught you the first Suguru. Imagine how difficult that was. If you remember, the legs were all over the place, the hands are all over. Where have I put the feet? All that kind of movement. That's actually the space you need to be in now. And when we talk about Shoshin in terms of martial arts, that's the kind of space you need to occupy. I don't actually fundamentally know what I'm doing and how I do it. Work from that space because that's an interesting space. Don't really get it. No, we can't. Yeah. Don't. That's it. Good. So again, most of training is about getting more and more out of resistance and more into alignment with the action. So what I want you to really feel now is as you do the sword cut, I want you to notice in the body, especially like things like the neck, things that can go into resistance and fight against the movement. Now they're doing that because they're out of compensations naturally. The body wants to find balance, so it will do it anyway. The body's really intelligent, but it's a bit stupid as well. So it will find compensations to buttress the structure, and they're not necessarily healthy. But just find it, if you can find a position where I'm going to go just totally aligned to the movement. So in the raise, how do my elbows align to that movement? Are they here? Is my neck crunched up? Is my knees blocked? Or am I just like sitting into it? So how do I align to that movement? And then as I cut, how do I align to that movement? How do I align the structure to meet the requirements of that function? So now we're going much more into functional training, like that. Very simple action, but how do I fully align the body to the action? And then back, and then, so what you do now is just swing the sword straight up to the back, swing it straight down. A little bit more dynamic if you like. Fundamentally try and work on again, something where the whole structure just aligns in. And the one time you do it, will feel totally different. And you want to kind of chase that feeling. If I can just get a taste of it, boom. Something more aligned, something more efficient, something less in resistance, I'm going to chase that feeling. Yeah, good. Nice, good. Yeah, and this is where specifics and technical matters really matter. This is where they start to really become fundamental. So just watch one thing, which is the elbows. It's a kind of thing a lot of people do. It's like, just watch as you come up. I don't want to do that with the elbows. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to push the body out. Again, this is working in resistance, so I'm forcing that movement to happen. Just feel that you can sink the body underneath. So the elbows are in this kind of position. So my feeling is that they're aligning again like this, but if they're like this, I've pushed the shoulder blades totally back. So just feel a sense that as you come to this position, elbows underneath and heavy. It's as if there's a weight hanging on the elbow all the time. And I don't want to do that. So it's something like that. Something like that. So just look at what the elbows are doing. And it's about the relationships between the elbows and the hips, especially in this case. That's it. Good, Tom. Good. Yeah. Got it. Okay, good. Great. That's it. Got it. There we go. Just think heavy elbows. Okay, I tell you like this. What you did with the sword, the elbow, the arm will also do the same. So you go like this. Boom. If I drop it, or if let's say you go, boom, the body switches off, or I lose all the feeling in my arm, my ability to move the arm go, boom, the arm will go, boom, to the ground. That's the kind of feeling I need with this kind of cut. I don't want to force the arm to move through space. I'm fundamentally a lazy person, so I want to go, go. I want the arm to just drop. Now I want to be lazy, but functionally lazy. Go. But I just want to sit into the movement. Fundamentally, I want to let the body just go, whoa, there. So just let it go. Let the arm go. So there's a structure in the arm, but I just want to let it fall off to the ground. There we go. Got it. Good, 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 good. So we go. There we go. Boom. Good. Okay, good. So we're going to just go into the cut. But what I want to do is don't put any focus into it. So you're just going to come back, and then you're just going to place the sword. So it's as if, I'm sure with the chair, it's as if there's a structure underneath and you're just placing the sword down. So it's like this structure. I'm just going to go back, and I'm just going to place it onto a table or a chair. So you can also use a chair. The key thing is that it's hip height. It's kind of that height. That's the kind of perfect height for me. But just get the sense that you're going to just place it down. So it's not hitting, it's not impacting, it's just allowing the sword to rest onto the structure. And if you've got a chair, you can use it, but if you're not, it's fundamentally the same. So it's just placing the cut. Again, really easy, very simple. Okay, good. That's it. Yeah, good. Nice. There we go. Good. And again, just notice how complex that movement is. So really get to a point where you can feel that to stop the sword here requires quite a complex movement with the body. So what I can work in strength training. So I can do this just with the arms, like this. So I can stop the sword with resistance and strength. It's just not interesting. It doesn't give me freedom. So just go to the back and then really feel, what do I need to do to catch that structure? Again, for me, it's about the relationship with the ground. What do I need to do in the lower body and the hips to catch the sword? So there's something going to happen in the body that the sword will just drop into that. The structure's in place and the sword just slots into it. So again, it's about creating an independent structure which falls down, and is arcing out at the same time. So I'm aligning to that root with the sword, and I'm just going to catch it in the structure. Every time, it's just going to fall in place. That's it. Yeah, got it. That's it. There we go. Good. So just notice now one thing. I want you to notice how the center works through the sword. So we can talk about hands and feet and all these technicalities and the elbows and the neck and all these kind of points, but we're really just training the center. So get the feeling now that you're going to connect the command to the center and just look at that relationship. What I want you to feel is that there's a movement out from the center and to the periphery. So it goes out from the center, and then from here it's the same. Center, periphery, and it slots into that. So what's going to happen now, you're going to slowly start to come into a focused cut. Go. But really feel there's a connection between center first. Center. So in those three movements now, you've got the raise, you've got the dropping, and you've got the catching. Go. And all the time that's being controlled by the center, but that's being motivated from the center. Motivated is a better word than controlling. Motivated. Center motivated whole body movement. Something like that. There we go. Just very lightly with the focus. There we go. Great. Good. Go. Okay. So just notice one thing, which is about the quality of the movement. Again, these three movements, they all have a different quality. So the raising of the sword has a different quality of movement from the dropping of the sword. And the catching of the sword, or the focusing of the sword, has a different kind of quality. It's got a different energy. So it's the difference between me like drawing the arm back, initiating the strike, and striking with it. They all have a different quality. What we tend to do is like, it's all the same. So if I think it's all the same, it will be all the same. It will have the same quality. I need to get a feeling where everything's actually essentially distinct. And the more distinctions I can make on that level, and there's an infinite amount of distinctions you can make, the more I can make, the more I can work the system. And later you forget them all. You drop the distinctions totally. And it just becomes a cut again, like when you're a 6-year-old child. But you need to go through a stage where it's like, I need to really fine tune my feelings of distinction. What is there? What am I doing? What is there? What am I doing? Pretty much that's all you do. You just constantly question yourself. What is the hand doing? What is the center doing? What is my relationship with the ground? How am I using the feet? What's my breath doing? Am I breathing? All this stuff. It's all part of the work. So, right. So a lot of groundwork, a lot of blah blah, and a lot of connection work. Put it all together now, and you just feel like you're just going to go into the cut. So just to the back, to the back, and for me now, forget Zoom, forget the computer. I'm not going to talk. Just the last 5 minutes, just cutting, and just get into the cut. Forget the screen, forget everything. Just go into the cut. Okay, good. We're going to do 2 more minutes. I'm not going to change anything, but what I want to feel is don't just keep repeating the cut. So I didn't tell anyone not to do that. I won't tell you what to do. So, but just get a feeling that what I always want to do is work like maximum connection work. So I want to work quality. So I'm not interested in doing thousands of cuts. It's not my interest at all. I want to wake up in the morning, grab the sword, do 1 cut, boom, perfect, and then leave. I go have a coffee. That would be perfect training for me. That's what I want to go towards. Because it never happens, we keep going with the cut. But sometimes we go out of that. We go like below 50% quality training. And I don't want to work in that area because I'll also train really bad habits. So if you feel like tired, if you feel like I'm lost concentration, I start to think about something else, stop. Don't go into the cutting. So only do the practice when you're really like fully engaged with it. So just now, I just want you to just do the last, we've got like a minute or so of the class. Just stick with the first suburi, move around the space if you need to, do nothing if you feel you need to, watch other people on the screen if you need to, but just use the first suburi and just feel like, when I feel I'm in it, connected, I'll just enter into it, connected, go. Now, as soon as that's gone, I'm going to exit it. Because I don't want to work in an area which is bad concentration, work in different things. So just use this last point, last minute or so. You can do nothing, you can do lots of cuts, you can do 1 cut, do what you want, but really work in a level where you're fully engaged with it. So. Great. Okie dokie, good. So we'll stop there. So this for me is where the practice becomes really powerful because I'm working at my like fullest and I'm really focused, engaged. And if I go out of that, forget it. This is just where I don't want to work. So that's where especially if you're solo training at home, it doesn't matter whether you do 30 minutes or 20 minutes or 1 minute. What matters is how engaged you are as you do it. That's what's important. And that's the case when we go in the dojo or when we're in whatever you do. Try and engage yourself like fully. 1 thing at a time. That kind of thing. Okay, we'll bow out. Hi, domo. Okie dokie.